I've done it,
Okay.
but Jinkx has to go. Sorry.
That's okay. We wait for Jinkx.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
We all set?
That was not lag. That was just me freezing in place.
If you're ready, I'm ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm so excited. I should be wearing a diaper right now. It's the Shaun Proulx Show here on SiriusXM Canada Talks, channel 167, or you might be watching this on the gayguidenetwork.com. My two favorite queens in the world are here. Jinkx Monsoon and BenDeLaCreme join me right now from the UK on their sacred day off as well. I can't... on your sacred fucking day
world?
off.
Well, we're honored to be spending a few moments of it with you between naps.
We're honored and exhausted.
I've been awake for about an hour. Let's go.
Same.
Are you exhausted though? You guys were in Detroit and then went right to Glasgow. You played in London this week, Liverpool. You're off today. You're back at the London Palladium tomorrow, and then you're back in the States, and then you come to Canada. Let me give some Canadian dates for people listening. November 21st in Toronto, November 23 and 24 in Montreal, November 25 in Hamilton, and then if you wait till right after Christmas, you can go see them in Vancouver on December 30th. And what we're talking about is the BenDeLaCreme and Jinkx Monsoon, Jinkx and DeLa Holiday Show 2023, coming to a theater near you. I hear the show's going really well in the UK, and the audiences are lapping it up.
It's been really amazing. We worked really hard on the show this year. I mean, we always work really hard on the show, but every year I think we find new things about it and new sort of depths to explore, and we were really excited about it. But we took some big swings this year, so we were excited to see how people would respond, and it's been incredible. I mean, people over here have just been the audiences have been so receptive. The reviews have been glowing. Jinkx always jokes that, like, in London especially, the reviews will be like, it's the best thing I've ever seen. I loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. But we've been getting 5-star reviews in London.
Amazing.
So
amazing. Congratulations. Does it surprise you, all of this? Could you have envisioned it for yourselves once upon a time?
Oh, well, of course I envisioned it, right? Like in my wildest dreams.
Yes.
This is like, okay, when I saw movies, films, like Tu Wong Fu and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Girls Will Be Girls, I saw something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I always knew where I was most effective was live on stage. And I found another queen who feels the exact same way. And so we teamed up and yada, yada, yada. Here we are.
This massive success that you're having, does it dwarf or make RuPaul's Drag Race seem a million miles away now?
Well, it's just such a different animal, it's like Drag Race is this really amazing sort of, we talk a lot about how it's sort of the best reel in the business, you sort of get to give everybody a little taste of a bunch of stuff you do, and the best case scenario is then those people are driven to come see you really do it in its full form on your own terms out in the world. And so it's to me, I won't speak for both of us, but to me it's very much a part of the path, but where we are right now, that to me is what is most exciting. Live theater and writing, directing, producing, all of that has always been something that I'm really passionate about, and I've done it for a long time, and this has just allowed it to grow in, you know, Drag Race is part of why it can now be on the scale it's on.
What do you say, Queen of all queens, to that question?
I kind of second everything DeLa said. We obviously both went on and did very different things, but we both left an impact on the world of drag with the help of RuPaul's Drag Race that kind of set us up to then go out back into the world of live entertainment or back into the industry and do what we always wanted to do. You know, we both did an original season that kind of introduced us to our audience. And between our original season and each of our all-stars, we kind of got ready to reintroduce ourselves to our audience once like pleasantries were out of the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And coming out,
that's a good way to put it. Yes.
Coming out and starting to do the things that you're doing now, easy to do with the RuPaul's Drag Race history behind you, or preconceived notions getting in the way of what you wanted to get done?
I think I think both DeLa and I, independently and especially together, we have really worked hard over the last decade to make sure our audience knows exactly who we are. And now, I guess I forgot the original question, but I do know that we worked really hard to make sure our audience knows who we are.
You've only been up an hour. It's okay.
But the work that we do, we get to do because our audience shows up trusting us because we've taken them on this ride before and we haven't let them down.
Let's get serious for just a moment, and I want to talk about your new show. The climate that we're in right now politically, and the things that we're seeing right now, attacks on the trans community, attacks on the LGBTQ plus community, attacks on drag queens are pervasive. And I've seen you, DeLa, on MSNBC a number of times. Really, you do the community proud with the way you represent and get out there and say the things that you do. But I wanted to, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you each an opportunity to share your feelings about what's going on and think about younger people who might be listening to this or seeing this and what you might have to say to them, given the iconic status that you both hold.
I think one thing I think about a lot is, Jinkx is a little younger than me, but still, but we both started doing this at a time before sort of drag, but general widespread queer acceptance was so prevalent, before we were seeing it in the media, before we really got to be sort of joined by social media and to understand that there is a whole world of queer community out there for us, right? And that's something we know now, and it's amazing and it's wonderful. And the attack on it, the impact on it, feels really devastating. I think especially to younger people who don't know that we've already made it through this stuff. You know what I mean? Drag queens and queer people are warriors and survivors, and it has been this bad in the past, and we have clawed and glittered our way out of it, because it's all about the uniting of the community. It's all about the uplifting. It's about both rallying people to know that there are many of us and we are strong, and also bringing each other joy. We can be uplifted and gain more strength for the fight to come. And these are unique abilities that the queer community has, specifically because of the duress that we've been under. And so we are well equipped to beat this thing.
Agreed.
All the hate that's coming our way, those people are not as strong as we are. And so, for the young people who haven't necessarily witnessed that, I just want to always remind them they already have the skills to fight this thing, and
Yeah.
all they have to do is tap into that history.
Is it a uniter, Jinkx? Because you think about the queer community these days, and we had the equality fight for equality, we had the fight for gay marriage, we had all kinds of the war on AIDS, uniting the community for a long time, and then there was a gap once things sort of settled down a little bit, and this has sort of come back. This attack on the community from the far right. Is that something that's going to unite us again? And what do you say about all of this?
I say that I think that gap is that gap that you're describing. It's like, it's what we fought for. I mean, I'm only 36, so I don't get to claim much of that fight, but I was around for the tail end of a lot of the like trauma that our community experienced that you were just describing. And I got to grow up with things getting progressively better for a long time. I got to see marriage equality. I'm married to my quote unquote same-sex partner. I only say quote unquote because I'm trans feminine anyway, but I've seen so much progress in my lifetime. And then I think of people my brother's age. He's also in the queer community. He's 23, 24, and I should know that. Anyway, he is part of the community that grew up in a really, like, the golden age, right? But this is why I've always insisted that, one, art is important, two, drag is important, and three, knowing your queer history is important. All three of these things have always been hand in hand, trying to make sure that even in the golden glittery times, sometimes it feels like a drag that we remind you of the dark past, but it's for a reason. It's to keep you galvanized for stuff like this.
Well said. Really well said. Now let's talk about your show, the Jinkx and DeLa Holiday Show 2023 tour, coming to many cities across North America, including mine. I get to see you guys next Tuesday here in Toronto. What can we expect?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Jinkx and I are both waiting for the other to dive in. It's funny because
we get politer and more and more polite throughout the conversation.
Well, it's a combination of daunting to describe what it is that we're laying out for people this year, and also really excited. I mean, we've been talking about it a lot, obviously, because we just made it and have been in rehearsal for it, and now we're doing press for it. But it's really, I think, I mean, the response we've gotten so far, I think every year we don't know how we are going to outdo the year prior, right? Like because we put ourselves fully into it every year. And, it's not that we are perfect artists at every moment, but we like thrust ourselves into it. We are meticulous about there is no good enough in the Jinkx and DeLa Holiday creation process. And so every year we kind of feel like, wow, we really like stepped it up this year. How are we going to do it again? And our sort of answer to that in the last few years is well, we can't. You can't have that intention. So you just have to go in and do exactly what you want the best you can, like the best, just what brings us joy and we think will bring other people joy. And the result of that the last couple of years, when we've sort of like thrown the rules out the window, is consistently the reviewers and audiences say to us, this is the best thing yet. And that's really wonderful when you get to hear that. When you like stop striving for that, that's when it happens, because you're just being honest and creating work that means something to you and has integrity and authenticity. This year's show is probably our weirdest, wackiest. It's like goofy and silly, but it's also sort of existential and poignant, and about it's very meta and self-referential about the fact that we have had this really successful exponential growth over the last 5 years. And there is, at some point you're like, how do we keep the formula going? How do we keep it
Right.
fresh? What do we do? And that's kind of what the show we wrote wound up being about, but in a really fun, playful Twilight Zone kind of way.
You did it. You described the show. Listen, you both brought me so much joy watching you perform on Drag Race and all the other work you do. Chicago, Jinkx Monsoon, congratulations so much on that. Doctor Who.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for that joy, and I wish you both a lot of success with the tour. You've got a lot of work ahead of you, I know, but I think it's going to be great.
Well, thank you
Thanks
so
so much.
much.
Thank you so much for your time on
we're
your
really
day off.
grateful.
Now
Thank
we're going to
you
have
for
to
taking
figure out what to do in London. My gosh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Problems. If you're listening to this on SiriusXM, you can go to thegayguidnetwork.com and enter to win a pair of tickets to see Jinkx and DeLa anywhere in Canada that they're playing in the next few weeks. Or if you're sitting on thegayguidnetwork.com right now, be sure to enter to win. The link is right in front of you. Thank you so much.